exhaust leak, but I already knew that. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to another video on this 1972 Corvette. So if you're new to the channel, check out all the videos that I've done on this in the past. Basically, sat outside with the hood off for 15 plus years, rescued it, put another engine in it, and drove it around the block for the first time a couple of videos ago. This time, I want to go more than like the 10th of a mile that we went, and we're going to improve a few things on the car. So we're going to talk about the brake booster, the power steering, the carburetor, and then a little bit on the interior. So we're going to start with this brake booster. I'm going to see if I can't find a clip on the last video, but it was bad, and basically every time we press on the brake the engine would stutter, and as you can tell it had been leaking. The master cylinder had been leaking inside of it, and then the vacuum diaphragm, it's just trashed. I think water can get inside of these when you leave them out like this, and guess what? It's toast. So in order to fix that, I have installed a brand new one, and it works a lot better. The next thing that I had to do was this power steering. So if you look at it, this belt setup is not correct for a Corvette. The alternator is actually supposed to be over here, where the AC compressor is supposed to be over there. But we're going to make this work because that's what it came with. And one thing I did have to do is I had to add a couple washers to the back of this power steering bracket because this belt did not want to line up with the pulley. But after doing that and after adjusting it, I got the belt to fit. So today what we want to do is add some power steering fluid to it and see if it's going to leak like crazy or not. Right now there's absolutely nothing in it, so hopefully we can get that done. Another thing that I did was I did put a different carburetor on it. I haven't touched anything about it yet. It's just been rebuilt and put on. I haven't really fired it up or anything. The other one that everybody hated was the painted test carb I have. People they just go crazy over that, but we did put an electric choke on it. It's a real simple thing you can do to kind of increase the usability of your choke when you don't have a part on the intake that runs it off of heat. This is obviously an aftermarket intake. Just attach it to the fuse box where it says accessory, and it'll turn on with the key and off with the key. Yeah, so that's good, and that's much better than it was. First though, I think we're going to handle that before we try to drive it anymore. I have a new gasket. We'll redo that again. I've already done it once. Here I am doing it again. So it looks like the failure, I put this gasket on. It looks like the failure was because there's this sticky that's on the bottom edge of the gasket that's supposed to, have you help keep it in place and stuff like that, but it just didn't work. So we're going to try to find a gasket that doesn't have that sticky. So here's the difference in what I'm talking about. So these gaskets are basically the same, but this one is thinner, and it also has this sticky on the back, and I've never had luck with it. So we're going to put the Felpro gasket on it, and I guarantee you that will not leak. One thing that is probably a good thing to have while driving is a working temperature gauge. Now, when they did the swap from the alternator one side to the other, they used a bunch of wires and moved everything over here. But one thing that they didn't do is the temperature gauge. So I don't know if that was because of Bubba or if that was because it got chewed off by rats. I don't know. But luckily there's a little nub left. So we're going to connect a wire from here to the sender, and it should, if everything goes well, run the gauge. Pretty simple fix. Hopefully that sender is good. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's an original equipment one. It's very unlikely those cinders ever go bad. So here in the inside, it might look a little bit different than before. So I've been doing a lot of work on it. And the main thing that I had found a set of door panels and ended up dyeing them. They used to be black, now they're blue. And then also I got the dash installed. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but there's a new bezel and a used radio that will go in it. So the radio does work. I put speakers in it. I went through the whole harness, made sure all that stuff works. I'm still waiting on a couple other parts or some interior trim parts that need done, but we're planning on doing carpet and seats and all these panels in the back and all that stuff. So, oh, I did want to show you this. I did get the turn signals to work. That's super exciting because there's two issues. One, the flasher, you see how that wiring is kind of sitting on the floor? The flasher is right about here. That's how the wiring has been sitting the whole time, was outside. So the flasher was pretty much underwater the whole time. As you can see, it had seen better days, and all I had to do was replace the flasher and boom, all the turn signals worked. Other than the front right had a rat chewed up piece of wiring, but other than that, it's been awesome. So all the turn signals work and the brakes work, so we should be good to drive it around today. No seat belts, but that's okay. Don't plan on getting pulled over. But yeah, we'll go from there. One of the last things that I want to do to get ready for this maiden voyage is replace this air filter. It has been outside for 15 years. Probably could use it, but there's no need because AutoZone had one on the shelf ready to go that's the same size. So I went with this 2-inch instead of a 3-inch because I'm not sure how well this is going to fit under the hood. We made the intake taller, I think. I think it's taller than the old one. It's definitely taller than stock, so hopefully this is a drop base lid. I think I have another one that's in a little bit better shape than this, but for what it is, it'll work. Dead spider's still on there. Clean it up, put the lid on, and see if it fits. Now this base used to be on a Holly, and you can kind of see where they beat it in order to get to fit the choke, but it fits really nice on a Quadrajet. There's really not any kind of area on here that's rubbing other than maybe right there with the choke pull off. So we'll put this raised part right there so it doesn't touch. Right there seems like a good spot. And we'll add the air filter. Like so. Now we just need to find a lid. I don't like this one. As you can see, it's not very good looking. I might have a better used one. It fits. Just barely, but it fits. I can get that other side to latch. I'm really hesitant about latching this hood because I greased it all up, but it hasn't been on the car in so long. It's been outside, rained on. The last thing I want is a stuck hood, so for now, we're gonna kind of leave it alone until we get to that point. So this is on there pretty tight. I had a shortened stud in my box that was ready to go. I'm gonna try to find a better lid. I don't like that one. Parts car to the rescue. She's not the prettiest. She's got rust, but more shiny than the other one. Plus it still closes. And the whole goal is to have an air filter that works. So with that checked off the list, what we can do next, we can remove all the stuff off the back of it and get her ready for the first trip to the gas station. Alright guys, today's the day. My buddy Landon, he's gonna be my cameraman today. Yeah. He's really excited. And we're gonna drive this car to the gas station. Fingers crossed. Think he'll make it? No. Oh, come on. Alright, so let's just check some stuff before we go. Let's see. Make sure we have good coolant is full. Coolant is full. And we should be good on that. Let's check. Power steering, there's fluid in there. Oil, we got good oil. Go back one hand. And the last thing we need to check is gonna be, we have transmission fluid. So, alright, let's see if it'll fire up. showed off a little bit so people don't complain about it. Doesn't matter what I do now, it's complain about it. Alright, so the power steering is working, and it's working pretty good. It's running pretty good for just barely starting. You know, I haven't ran it since yesterday. Hopefully we don't run out of gas. Down here, I didn't hook up that gauge, so that gauge doesn't work. This works, but I don't think it's reading correctly because I know I have way more than an empty tank. I put 5 gallons in it, and the water temp looks like it's starting to work. My speedometer does work, my tach does not, but how's your seat?
Nice and crusty.
So this is the first time I've driven this car with the hood on. And it's the first time I've driven this car more than like maybe half a mile down the road. So when we get up to this stop up here, this is the farthest I've ever driven it, is right here. So we have a fire extinguisher, we have tools, I have a cameraman. So if I need to push it, we can push it home. Go ahead and walk around it. Show the whole car. Proof that it's here. I don't see anything that really alarms me. The engine's warm like it's supposed to be. Nothing really leaking. What do you think? Landon, do you see anything leaking? Nothing really smoking. That's good. The thermostat's not leaking, so we figured that out. Let's see if she'll fire up hot. See what happens. Sure. Alright guys, it's running at the gas station. It made it 6.2 miles, so now we're gonna drive the 6.2 miles back home. I won't make Landon record it because his arms are starting to fall asleep. But no, she fires right up, she runs, and let's get her home. So I put in 5 gallons. The gas gauge now reads. Temp gauge running perfect. So when we get home, we should have about 10 miles, 12 miles or so on it. We'll see. You can kind of hear the rear end groaning, but that's not surprising. And we're stuck behind a Red Bull truck. Hi guys, we made it. Who are you? I don't know who you are. Why are you here? Go! Oh, weird other dog, that's not my dog? You're really nice. There's Noodle and Chopstick. No, get out of the car! Out, no, out. So we made it back. 11.3 miles. Yeah, she did really good. I don't smell anything like burning or leaking. Now that transmission could definitely be leaking, and the power steering could definitely be leaking, because that's a stuff I haven't really looked at yet. But everything I've touched is good. Let's take a look underneath. Big ugly dog. So far so good. I don't see anything like obviously smoking or anything like that. Look at the power steering. I filled it up and it didn't leak and it worked, which was it's a Christmas miracle by itself. Looks like we got a little bit of weepage, but really it's not bad. That power steering hasn't worked since 10 years ago, so not bad at all. But it did it. Who are all these dogs? Where's the white one? There you go. It did its maiden voyage to the gas station today.